talking about how do you articulate the value of a Catholic education versus a public. And I said, well, it's easy. You don't know what you don't know. And Father Mark and Amanda Paul, the principal, they looked and they said, well, what do you mean? And I said, you don't know what you don't know, and now I do. And I want to share my experience with you. So my husband Jim and I moved to this area, like many of you, because of the excellent school system. We had 4 children, and they walked down the block and went to school, to the public school. And we're a Catholic family. We come to Mass regularly. Our kids grew up going to religious education. They've been altar servers. They've served as lectors. They've helped at food pantry, etc. And so the values of the church have always been really important in our family life. So when our oldest got to high school, it was expected, and we didn't think twice about it, and she went to Hinsdale Central. So when our second daughter reached that milestone age, what we realized is we are really blessed in our community because we have a lot of excellent schools. And so while our oldest was having a fine experience at Central, we decided that we should at least explore the other alternatives. So our eyes were opened when we started visiting other schools, and she shadowed at several of the Catholic high schools. She ended up selecting Fenwick to take the entrance exam, and then it became the decision of Fenwick versus Hinsdale Central. So the night before the Fenwick decision had to be made, we went and tucked her into bed, and she looked up and she simply said, "Sign me up for Fenwick." And we were like, oh my gosh. So this is what I didn't know that I do now. The next day I called and I said, I think you might have a new family at Fenwick, and we really don't know anything about the school. And so they were so great. We went to the school that very same day, and it was a game changer. The community, the caring, the love that was shared by everybody at that school in that moment, and the privilege that they take educating our children was amazing. In fact, I remember sitting in the freshman orientation mass, and I cried the entire time. And it's a good thing for my daughter that I was sitting in the back of the auditorium and the kids were in the front. And, I thought to myself at the time, they're not getting this in the public school. Our last 2 kids went to Fenwick as well. And while high school is still high school, and we all have to deal with the issues that come along with that wherever they go, the focus is not only on education, but it's on really developing individuals with strong morals and values, people who have service at the forefront of their mind, and that are caring and compassionate people. And this is really what makes the difference. It's a culture, it's something that's not taught, it's something that is expected, and we couldn't be more grateful. The kids also thrive in the environment. It does make a difference. So I wish I knew now what I know when my kids were younger, because we seriously would have considered Catholic grade school. So I encourage all of you during this week of Catholic School Week to take a look around and experience what you might not know.
That was an awesome story. For those who don't know me, my name is Jennifer Serwick. I have been a parishioner along with my husband Dan for the last 20 years at Notre Dame. I have been a school parent for my 3 kids who have all gone to Notre Dame for the last 16 years, and I have been fortunate enough for the last 4 years to be part of the staff as well. I've been a sub, I've been an instructor, and I see lots of my kindergartners and 1st and 2nd and 3rd graders today. I'm an aide this year in primary, and I'm loving it and feel blessed to be so. With all of that time spent, I have seen everything, pretty much, that Catholic schools has to offer. I've been a parent, a coach, a teacher. I've been on every committee you could imagine. And through all of that, seeing and peeking behind that curtain, I am profoundly grateful that my children have been at Notre Dame School. And I'm profoundly grateful that my family has been able to call Notre Dame School home. Forgive me if I get a little emotional. My youngest sitting there is in 8th grade. She will be graduating this year. So this is a year of emotions for me because I feel like we're closing one chapter. But they're not rid of me yet because they keep asking me to come back, and I'm thrilled to do so. So let me tell you a little bit about my experience at Notre Dame School specifically. As I said, I have 3 children. They all started at the preschool programs and went all the way through 8th grade. My oldest, Allison, went on to Nazareth Academy, and she is currently a sophomore at Penn State University studying biology and genetics. Actually, right now, as we speak, she is working in a lab with a professor. The last text I got said that they are trying to infect cancer cells with virus cells to rev up the body's immune system to fight cancer from within. So we are really praying and cheering her on that they find some real breakthroughs. Her love of science and her passion to marry science and helping others 100% came from Notre Dame. I distinctly remember the 7th and 8th grade instruction that she got in science. Her coming home, she hasn't stopped talking about biology since. It lit a fire in her, and it came from the education that she received here at Notre Dame. My middle son, Ian, is a junior at NAS. He is also in the honors and AP classes, and he runs track and cross country, passionate about music and theater. Sorry, Father, he could not be here today. I know it's an activity. He is preparing for the 5th of his 6th performance of a chorus line this weekend. So we're just praying that his voice and his feet hang in there. But his ability to juggle all of those things and still be an excellent child who contributes to our family, contributes to the community, again, rooted here in Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, he not only had excellent academics, but he learned how to do sports, how to work on his leadership, how to care about others through all of the service projects he did, and he's bringing that through with him as he goes through high school. And as I mentioned, my youngest here, Beth, don't be too embarrassed. She is in 8th grade, and she has done all of the myriad of things that Notre Dame has to offer. She has loved her classes. She has loved her volleyball and basketball and cross country and track, and she is in the play, and she's in student council. It's such a well-rounded environment. She too is going on to Nazareth Academy, and I know, Beth, you aspire to be a doctor yourself. NYU is where Beth wants to go, so we're already preparing for that. But all of that good stuff that my kids do, it's not just my kids. I'm looking out right now and I see so many families and so many alum that my kids are just representative of what goes on here at Notre Dame. I was looking at these 4 amazing young ladies. This is our student council executive board. And I was looking at McKenna here, who has the most beautiful voice. And do you know that among these 5 families, there are 18 children of theirs that have gone to Notre Dame, many of which are off at college or have graduated from college and are doing amazing things. We've got doctors and lawyers and teachers. Our alum go to a variety of high schools, whether it is a central or a public institution, or we have Rosary and Montini and Naz and Fenwick and Bennett and Ignatius. Our children go on to do great things, and it's rooted here from what they have learned at Notre Dame. The foundation they received here sets them up for this amazing life. After high school, we have students that have gone on to University of Notre Dame, Penn State, Villanova, Miami of Ohio. Those are the ones that are coming to mind right now. University of Michigan. So they go all over and they do awesome things. So I will tell you, and I'll keep it brief, my head and my heart are with Notre Dame. The academics and the well-rounded education your children receive here are second to none. My heart tells you that the love that they receive here at Notre Dame is special. That is why we keep coming back. That is why families send child after child after child to Notre Dame, so that they can be loved during some of the most important years of their lives. So I hope you will love Notre Dame. For all of those who are sending their children here, thank you so much. Please come to our open house right following Mass. Come see your children's classroom. Come see the awesome work that they're doing that's up in the hallways. Peek into the classrooms they'll be going to next year. For those of you who are not sending your children to Notre Dame, come and check us out anyway. We hope that you will consider Notre Dame in the future, or if you have younger children just starting their education journey, that you will consider Notre Dame. And if you just have neighbors that have kids or your grandparents, come next door and see all the awesome stuff that your children in your community are doing. God bless. Thank you so much. Thank you.